No one saw this coming. The same actress who once stood against unrealistic beauty standards just walked the most glamorous runway in the world. Euphoria star Barbie Ferreira, bold, outspoken, and proudly different, made her Victoria's Secret debut at the 2025 fashion show in New York, and the world instantly stopped to watch. For years, Barbie was known as the girl who didn't play by Hollywood's rules. On Euphoria, her character Kat Hernandez became a symbol of rebellion, a teen who refused to hide her curves or apologize for who she was. Off-screen, Barbie carried that same energy into the real world. She modeled for body-positive campaigns, called out toxic beauty culture, and even left Euphoria after rumors of creative tension with the show's direction. To many fans, she was the voice of authenticity, someone who walked away from the industry's pressure to conform. That's why her Victoria's Secret appearance felt almost unreal. For decades, the brand was known for perfect bodies and angel wings, a dream factory built on narrow ideals. And Barbie Ferreira? She represented the exact opposite of that. So when she stepped on that stage in a red balconette bra, matching shorts, and an oversized denim jacket, people were stunned. This wasn't a return. It was a statement. In her interview with People, Barbie admitted she was completely caught off guard by the offer. "It wasn't even in my head to walk a runway," she said, "especially not this one." But once it sank in, excitement took over. She called her mom in Brazil, who burst into tears of pride, and started prepping for what would become the biggest moment of her modeling career. When the night arrived, the energy was electric. The crowd wasn't just cheering for a model, they were cheering for change. Barbie walked with an effortless confidence. No over-the-top poses, no forced smiles, just pure presence. Her look, a mix of classic lingerie and casual denim, felt like a middle finger to the old version of Victoria's Secret. She didn't fit their past mold, and that was exactly the point. The show's theme, "You want icons, we'll give you icons," perfectly captured the moment. It wasn't about perfection anymore, it was about power, and Barbie embodied that message. From the moment she stepped out, she became the face of a new kind of femininity, strong, unfiltered, and real. As clips flooded social media, fans couldn't get enough. Comments called her the redemption of Victoria's Secret and the most genuine model on that stage. In just a few minutes, Barbie Ferreira transformed from a former teen star into a global symbol of self-acceptance. And while the night ended in flashing lights and applause, the real story was only beginning. Because this wasn't just about a fashion show, it was about rewriting an entire industry's definition of beauty. Before the flashing lights and denim runway moment, there was just Barbie Ferreira, a girl from Queens who loved fashion but didn't see herself in it. Growing up in a Brazilian-American household, Barbie was surrounded by bold colors, louder music, and even louder opinions. But in the glossy world of Hollywood and modeling, she often felt invisible. Her early years weren't easy. She started modeling as a teenager but quickly ran into the industry's unspoken rules: lose weight, look smaller, fit the sample size. For someone like Barbie, who refused to shrink herself for approval, that was a deal-breaker. Instead of giving up, she did something few dared to do. She carved her own lane. In 2019, when Euphoria hit HBO, it wasn't just another teen drama. It was raw, bold, and unapologetic. And Barbie's character, Kat Hernandez, stood out instantly. Kat wasn't your typical side character. She was real. She struggled with self-image, validation, and the pressure to fit in, mirroring what millions of young women felt every day. And the way Barbie played her, confident, vulnerable, and brutally honest, made her an icon for body positivity overnight. But with fame came friction. Behind the scenes, whispers grew louder about creative differences between Barbie and the show's direction. Some said her screen time was cut. Others hinted she was tired of being labeled the body-positive girl when she wanted to explore deeper stories. Eventually, she left the show, quietly, without drama, but with a sense of purpose. That's when the shift began. Instead of fading away, Barbie started rebuilding her image on her own terms. She took on fashion campaigns that actually celebrated diversity. She modeled for brands that didn't Photoshop her body. And she started using her platform not just to talk about beauty, but about boundaries, mental health, and self-worth. When Victoria's Secret reached out years later, it was almost poetic. The brand that once represented unattainable perfection now wanted her. The girl who had built her career on defying perfection itself. In many ways, it felt like the world was finally catching up to what Barbie had been saying all along. Confidence isn't a size, it's a mindset. In interviews, Barbie said she never expected to walk a runway again. But this time it wasn't about proving anything. It was about owning her space, literally and symbolically. She described the experience as psyched, not just excited, but empowered, alive, and fully present. And when she stepped out in that red satin denim jacket, it wasn't just a fashion moment. It was closure. A full-circle story for a woman who had been told she didn't belong in this world, now standing at the center of it, unapologetic and free. The audience saw a model, but what they were really witnessing was something deeper. A woman who turned rejection into revolution. Not long ago, the words Victoria's Secret meant something very different. It was all wings, glitter, and a single image of perfection. Tall, thin, and blonde. For years, the brand ruled the fashion world with its runway of supermodels, but behind the glamour, cracks had already started to form. Society was changing and the brand wasn't keeping up. By the late 2010s, Victoria's Secret had become a symbol of outdated beauty standards. Sales dropped, scandals surfaced, and fans started asking tough questions. Where were the women who actually looked like their customers? Why was the show celebrating only one kind of body when the world was full of so many? That's when the fall began. Quietly at first, then all at once. The iconic Victoria's Secret fashion show was canceled in 2019, after more than 2 decades. The brand went silent. For a while, it seemed like it might never recover. But then, something unexpected happened. A complete rebirth. The company launched a massive rebrand, swapping out fantasy angels for real women. Athletes, activists, and artists replaced the old faces. Instead of perfection, they focused on authenticity. And when the brand decided to bring the runway back for 2025, they knew they needed more than models. They needed voices. Enter Barbie Ferreira. Her name wasn't just another addition to the lineup. It was a statement. Choosing Barbie meant declaring that Victoria's Secret was serious about change. Here was a woman who had publicly challenged beauty stereotypes, walked away from industry pressure, and built a career on confidence and individuality. When she stepped onto that runway for Victoria's Secret Pink, it felt like the brand was speaking directly to a new generation, one that didn't want to be told what beautiful looks like. Barbie wore a red set, bold and confident, with a denim jacket thrown over her shoulders. It wasn't about seduction or fantasy, it was about power, personality, and presence. And the reaction? Explosive. Social media lit up instantly. Fans called it the comeback moment the brand needed. Others said it was surreal to see Barbie, the same girl who once played Kat in Euphoria, a symbol of teenage self-doubt, now walking for one of the world's biggest fashion stages, entirely on her terms. Even the brand's caption hinted at the shift. You want icons? We'll give you icons. And they delivered. For years, Victoria's Secret tried to define beauty, but this time, they let someone like Barbie redefine it. She represented not perfection, but progress, proof that confidence can outshine convention. This wasn't just a catwalk moment, it was a cultural reset, a sign that the fashion industry might finally be learning to listen. As Barbie Ferreira stepped off the Victoria's Secret runway, the internet exploded. Clips of her walk circulated instantly across Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, racking up millions of views within hours. But it wasn't just the outfit that grabbed attention. It was the statement she made. In a world where beauty standards are still debated, Barbie became a symbol of authenticity, unapologetic, and fully in control. Fans called it the most genuine runway moment ever. Comments poured in celebrating her confidence, her body-positive energy, and her effortless poise. Many pointed out how refreshing it was to see someone who didn't conform to the brand's old ideals take center stage. Memes comparing her debut to earlier Victoria's Secret angels went viral, showing that this wasn't just fashion, it was a cultural shift. Critics, of course, had their opinions too. Some questioned whether Barbie's inclusion was a marketing stunt, a way to distract from the brand's past controversies. Others debated if Victoria's Secret was truly changing or simply capitalizing on the rising trend of inclusivity. But even skeptics couldn't ignore the impact. The debate itself became part of the story, keeping the conversation alive long after the show ended. What made this moment even more captivating was Barbie's relatability. Behind the cameras, she shared glimpses of her preparation, hyping herself up with Addison Rae's Diet Pepsi and a Brazilian funk playlist. Her excitement about calling her mom in Brazil added a human touch, a reminder that beneath the glamour, she was still a girl thrilled to be living her dream. Fans loved this side of her, and the snippets shared online added layers to the narrative. She wasn't just a model walking a runway, she was a real person experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Social media reactions also reflected generational differences. Younger viewers celebrated her as a role model, while fashion critics analyzed every detail of her styling. The oversized denim jacket, red lanyard, crew socks with a stripe and lace-up stiletto heels. Every element was dissected, shared, and discussed, keeping engagement high across platforms. Even celebrities weighed in. Fellow models and actors posted supportive messages, praising Barbie for being fearless and authentic. Influencers jumped on the trend, recreating her look or remixing clips of her walk. It became clear, Barbie wasn't just trending, she was dominating the conversation. The buzz didn't stop at positive reactions. Rumors and speculation added another layer of intrigue. Some fans wondered if this meant Barbie might now be pursuing more runway work, or if this was a one-off symbolic moment. Others speculated about potential collaborations with major fashion houses. The uncertainty fueled even more engagement, keeping viewers hooked on every update. By the end of the night, one thing was undeniable. Barbie Ferreira's debut was a viral phenomenon. She had captured the world's attention, challenged old norms, and left everyone asking the same question. What will she do next? Her runway walk wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a conversation starter, a challenge to outdated ideas, and a moment that proved authenticity can be just as captivating as any angel wing. Barbie Ferreira's debut at the 2025 Victoria's Secret fashion show wasn't just another runway moment. It was a statement, one that the fashion world couldn't ignore. For decades, the brand had represented a singular idea of beauty, tall, thin, and flawless. But with Barbie stepping onto that stage, the message changed entirely. She wasn't just walking in lingerie, she was walking for millions who had never seen themselves reflected in such spaces before. The impact was immediate. Social media erupted with praise, admiration, and discussion. Young fans saw a reflection of themselves in Barbie, someone confident, unapologetic, and authentic. Older viewers, used to traditional fashion ideals, were forced to reconsider what it really meant to be an icon. Her moment became more than viral clips. It became a cultural touchstone, a lens through which audiences could examine changing standards in beauty and representation. Fashion critics also took note. The inclusion of a model who had famously challenged industry norms sent a signal that Victoria's Secret was serious about evolving. Barbie Ferreira wasn't a compromise. She was a strategic choice, embodying inclusivity, empowerment, and relatability all at once. Every detail of her appearance, from the oversized denim jacket to her red lanyard and blue lace-up stiletto heels, was symbolic. It communicated a balance between rebellion and elegance, showing that style could be bold without being constrained by old definitions. But the legacy goes deeper than just appearance. Barbie's journey, leaving Euphoria, rejecting narrow beauty expectations, and building her own voice in fashion, resonates with a broader narrative of self-determination. Her runway debut is proof that carving your own path, even in the face of skepticism, can lead to defining cultural moments. This is the kind of story that inspires young models, actors, and everyday viewers alike. The idea that confidence isn't given, it's claimed. The show itself, once criticized for objectifying women, now serves as a platform for empowerment. With Barbie leading the charge, it's clear that Victoria's Secret is not just selling lingerie, it's selling representation, authenticity, and a reimagined dream. And while some critics remain skeptical about the brand's transformation, the overwhelmingly positive reception to Barbie's debut proves that audiences are ready for change. What's next for Barbie Ferreira remains uncertain, and that uncertainty fuels fascination. Will she become a recurring runway star? Will other brands follow her lead? Fans are watching closely, and every appearance, every post, and every interview now carries extra weight. She has transcended being just a model. She has become a symbol of resilience, transformation, and modern beauty. In the end, Barbie Ferreira's Victoria's Secret debut is more than a fashion milestone. It's a cultural shift, a viral moment, and a personal triumph all rolled into one. She didn't just walk a runway, she walked into history proving that authenticity, courage, and confidence can redefine an entire industry. And as audiences reflect on that iconic walk, one thought lingers. Beauty isn't about fitting in, It's about standing out unapologetically. Barbie Ferreira just reminded the world of that truth in the most unforgettable way. By now, one thing is crystal clear. Barbie Ferreira's Victoria's Secret runway debut wasn't just a fashion moment, it was a cultural reset. It marked a turning point for both her career and the industry itself. From a breakout Euphoria star challenging beauty norms to a global icon on the most watched runway, Barbie has proven that authenticity and confidence can redefine what it means to be a model today. For Barbie, this debut represents more than professional recognition. It's validation of years spent carving her own path in Hollywood and fashion, choosing projects and brands that align with her values rather than just chasing fame. Every campaign, every social media post, every interview has been part of a larger narrative. Staying true to herself, embracing her individuality, and showing the world that there's more than one way to be iconic, and the timing couldn't be better. Victoria's Secret, once criticized for outdated standards and lack of diversity, is reinventing itself. By putting Barbie on that stage, they sent a clear message. The future of fashion is inclusive, diverse, and bold. Fans and critics alike saw that this was more than a single runway moment. It's a blueprint for how brands can evolve without losing their legacy. Barbie wasn't just a model for Pink. She became the living symbol of transformation, signaling to the world that beauty now comes in all shapes, sizes, and personalities. Social media will remember this moment. Clips of Barbie striding confidently across the stage went viral, sparking conversations from New York to Brazil. Memes, commentary, and fan art flooded platforms, proving that her influence extends far beyond fashion. Every reaction reinforced the idea that her debut was more than spectacle. It was impact. People didn't just see Barbie Ferreira, they saw what happens when talent, courage, and authenticity collide. Looking forward, the possibilities are endless. Fans are speculating about future runway appearances, brand partnerships, or even her return to acting with a fresh, empowered perspective. Regardless of what comes next, Barbie's presence has already left a mark, one that challenges the industry to embrace change, one runway at a time. Ultimately, Barbie Ferreira's story is a reminder that success isn't about fitting a mold. It's about breaking it. She showed the world that confidence is contagious, that authenticity resonates, and that a single person can inspire millions to rethink what beauty really looks like. So as the lights dimmed on the 2025 Victoria's Secret runway, one truth remained. Barbie didn't just walk into a show, she walked into history, and she left an undeniable imprint on fashion, fandom, and the conversation about empowerment. And that leaves us with a thought that will linger long after the applause fades. In a world obsessed with perfection, the real showstopper is being unapologetically yourself. Barbie Ferreira just reminded us all why that matters more than ever.